In day 16 of 30 days of AL programming, we are going to look at how to optimize Visual Studio Code for AL development.
Hii ni Tech na Msangi ya jishinde.com.
Visual Studio Code is built to handle many smaller dependent projects inside one large project. However, as the base application isn't yet split into modules or components that allow managing the code in smaller projects, we recommend the following performance optimizations. And basically, the best way is to handle small apps or modular apps rather than have one whole big project. But there is a way out in case you have a big project. At times you may find yourself in a situation where you are maintaining maybe a code base that is having a big project. What are some of the ways that you can use to optimize your code? And if you have run a big project, at times it really takes time to compile. It really takes time to load even the errors or get to know where the problem is. And it might be slow for you. And how can we be able to make it better? So the first thing is we'll just basically be using the settings.json to be able to do a little bit of setups to change the way Visual Studio handles code. So the first one, if you have a code cop, you can disable code analysis, because the cop is always looking into your code to look for something in terms of have you followed whatever the code cop is specifying. And that's why we can enable code analysis true or false. And here is we do have AL cops. There's a video on how to set up these AL code cops. I'm not going into it, but when you do Control-Shift-P and then you put on set, and then with a full colon, we open our settings.json. And this is the place where we can specify the different settings that are around here. So the first setting is enable code analysis. By default it's false, but we can change it to true or false depending on if it's adding value or not. Okay, enable code analysis. So true or false, but now this one we can look into the details after. If you have been using code analysis, then it will make sense for you, and you can either disable or enable it. But I believe it should be enabled because it really helps. Then this one is still in tune with the first property. So if you disable code analysis, you can either enable code analysis and disable background code analysis, which turns off the running code analysis in the background. But code analysis will be enabled when building with the Control-Shift-B. So this means that when the code is running, it will not be. It's also another option. You can have code analysis enabled, but now the background code analysis is not enabled, so it will not be giving you suggestions on demand. But when you build, that's when it will generate suggestions for you to, or errors or warnings for you to be able to update. So, but I believe they should work together. But if it helps in optimizing your Visual Studio Code, why not? Give it a try. We do have now the enable code actions. So to turn off al code actions. So the code actions, they help in rectifying errors, or they give suggestions to complete code that is incomplete. Maybe you want to create a procedure, you have just written a procedure there, then it will tell you to do something like that, to complete the procedure. So the al enable code actions. So at the moment this is the default that it's true, but if we come here and maybe call a procedure from here, so when we save this, it will note that of course this procedure is not there. So when I hit control dot from this point, it will, this is the code action, create a procedure, a proc. So it's an al code action, and it's creating a procedure that is not implemented. But now the error disappears because I have now created a procedure. And if I went to the extent of saying maybe or say that it has an amount which is an integer for this particular procedure, then we can be able to still do the same in terms of creating a procedure that contains this parameter int. But I don't know. Okay, it's not detecting any code action. I don't know. The event, let me remove the first procedures. Let me see if it will generate anything. It does not enable creation of methods using method overloading, but let's see. Where is our proc? Here it is, and when we hit this, yeah, it creates. I think it can only create one at a time, so it creates that procedure for us. So if you don't need these code actions, maybe you really want to just go without code actions, you can simply set it to false from your settings.json and reload the window. So how we need to reload window? Control Shift P, developer reload window, which will now refresh your Visual Studio Code. And now in the event that we create our procedure, then it won't do anything. And maybe code okay, let's say document number, then it might not do a lot here because yeah, we do that and close from here. Okay, so create our procedure. Wait, the code actions is still there. Let me see if everything is working well. I have disabled code actions. Let me confirm. al code actions, let's see, is false. Okay, let me reload again. Developer reload window, and here is our procedure. Let's see, that is missing. We expect that the code actions will not be there to complete if we enable or disable. So quick fix al code actions, it is still there with advanced option. Okay, it has now detected that the code action is not available. I think the refresh took some time for it to now, you see, there is no code action at the moment because we have disabled the al code actions. But ideally it should remain true most of the time, and it's always true. And we can also use this al.incrementalBuild to allow the compiler to reuse the existing background compilation for creating the package. But this is so much behind the scenes. al.incrementalBuild, true or false? Yeah, can enable that or not. CodeLens, so we can turn off CodeLens in Visual Studio Code. So here is the code navigator, and so some languages like C# support inline reference information. that is updated live. So this allows you to quickly analyze the impact of your edit or the popularity of your specific method or property throughout your project. So like these methods that are created, they're giving you maybe this method has one reference, this other one has three references. The popularity, how has it been used? If you have used C# with, especially with Visual Studio, the main one, okay, even Visual Studio Code, I've not used C# with Visual Studio Code most of the time, but now it gives us the popularity of the method. How often has it been used? If it doesn't have any reference, why have the method or something to help you that with that? So we can choose to have it false or true, and then we can turn off formatting when saving a file for al. If you still want formatting, you can then um, adjust what to run formatting on, and you can choose modifications by using the format on save mode option. So do you want to format on save, or you say you format on demand? And these are some of the ways in which we can optimize Visual Studio Code for al development, especially for large projects. Okay, tell me what you think about this. How do you usually optimize your Visual Studio Code? Do you face any challenges with your Visual Studio Code? Do you get the best out of it, or is your code not running as fast? Is it compiling the way you expect? Is it your machine, or is it maybe you have a big code base? What do you think about it? Okay, see you in day 16 of 30 days of AL programming.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss the next one.